Yo, what's happening guys, King GBL here, and welcome back to a brand new Retro Cup video. Today I'm going to be showcasing another very strong team featuring Poliwrath. I've done Poliwrath 3 videos in a row. It's unintentional. This is actually a team that I got from my good pal Hugo. Shout out to Hugo. This team's amazing, and it got me over 20 for 80 ELO. I ended up dropping down a little bit afterwards, so in the title I'll probably put it as about 2300. I'm currently sitting around 2350 with this team, and I highly recommend it. If you're trying to make a push, if you're trying to make an early season push to veteran, I think this is an absolutely fantastic team. Like I said, once again, big shout out to Hugo for the team, and let's hop into the battles here, guys. Before we do, as always, drop a like in the video, helps out an absolute ton, and of course subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying these videos. So in this first match, we've got Dragonair lead, we have a Lanturn in the back, and this is where cradilly is just putting in so much work, and we have a decent amount of Lanturns in the back. Oftentimes what I see is a Dragonair lead with Lanturn in the back. Poliwrath, it doesn't have the greatest time in the world against Dragonair, but it's very, very manageable, and I actually quite like the Dragonair matchup. If I see Dragonair in the lead, I'm pretty happy to see it there, because I know I can just Icy Wind it, I can basically 2-shield counter it down, take alignment, or if I want to, I can take shield advantage. So definitely a very, very good matchup for Poly in that respect. The backline of Cradilly and Charjabug is working really well at the moment. They both have amazing coverage. Having rock and grass, such unique coverage. You're hitting flyers, hitting lanturns, and yeah, the rock slides are no joke when it comes to like the ice dragons, which there are quite a lot of as well. And of course with Charjabug, we have a lot of confusion teams, with some teams with Medicham, Deoxys, Cresselia, even Hypno, Girafarig. You're just absolutely toasting Oranguru. You're absolutely toasting them with the toaster, and some of the dragons like Altaria have the flying subtyping, so you're hitting those for neutral. And yeah, like I said, generally speaking, this cup has a decent amount of Poliwraths, and a lot of stuff that Charjabug can hit. You're resisting the counters on the Vigoroths and things like that. You can comfortably live a Rock Slide. It's a very, very strong Pokemon in this meta. In this next game, I think in this first set actually, we had 4 Dragonair leads and a Lanturn lead. So technically 4 lead losses if you want to say like, okay, the opponent could like double shield for you, or you have to go down shields to take switch advantage basically, right? In this match right here, we let them take us out and go for the farm down with Charjabug. Generally speaking, Charjabug up energy can do quite a lot of work in the back. Oftentimes Dragonair will be the best answer to Charjabug, so if you get a farm down with it, you can actually put in a lot of work. In comes Altaria, so not like an amazing answer for Charjabug. We've already seen one dragon, now we're seeing the second one. Could this possibly just be triple dragon? I'm not too sure about this. I'm thinking, okay, I'll get off this next discharge. I'm really just trying to get a shield off the opponent. The opponent no shields, which is kind of awkward, and they come into the Kentucky Fried Chicken Bird of Death. They're running EBB Flyer with 2 dragons. Very interesting team. It's a team that would be very weak to like Dugong, Walrein, any sort of water ice type. Quite an interesting team by the opponent. We're going to go straight for the Rock Slide to get rid of the Kentucky Fried Chicken. They of course do shield it. I'm not even giving them a chance to get off another move. And I don't necessarily want to eat that Incinerate, so we're throwing the move immediately. Back in comes Altaria. Now does the Moonblast KO from here? They go for the Moonblast, it does not. Cradilly is super, super thick. We easily get rid of this thing, and that's going to be good games well played. Cradilly, like I said, in the back, it's got decent bulk. It is weak to counter, so that is the one awkward thing about it. Technically speaking, we're ABA weak to Medicham and ABA weak to Deoxys. You do see them, but not that often. In comes Dragonair. What we like to do in this match is go for the overfarm. More often than not, the opponent throws in bad timing and gives us a whole free counter. In this case, the opponent did not, so nicely played by them. We're going to go for an Icy Wind to immediately debuff them. The opponents do catch on this sometimes, and in this case, they actually swap to Deoxys. We come straight into the toaster here, looking to try and get rid of this thing. Now, I believe they throw after 7, so this is a potential Rock Slide. They do go straight for it. The Deoxyses here do seem to be on Rock Slide quite often. We're going to build up to back-to-back X-Scissors, and we're going to look to YOLO both of these off before the opponent gets to their Psycho Boost. This match can get awkward after they land the Rock Slide, so you do generally want to try to get rid of it as soon as you can. The opponent will most likely come back in and come in for a farm down with the Dragonair, which is a little bit awkward. I feel like the opponent's played this so much better than most people I faced. What they've actually done here is preserve Dragonair, preserve some energy, and they're just making it super awkward here. If they stay in with Dragonair, you can just counter for it. If they swap out and farm stuff down, it gets really awkward. Because of course we're using resisted volt switches, so yeah, not the most comfortable thing in the world. We do farm it down with Poly, and in comes Vigoroth. Can we get to the move in time? I decide I need to catch the Body Slam. We were 1 off the move, and I was thinking, okay, the opponent will Body Slam me so that they don't get debuffed or don't get, heavy damage with Scald or whatever. So at this point, it's a little bit awkward here. The opponent's counters and Rock Slides are adding up quite a lot on Cradilly. We do get the final shield here. However, I'm on such low health, I don't think I'm going to be able to get off a Scald. This is kind of the awkward thing. We go straight for the Icy Wind, but as you can see, we reach the Scald at the same time. So here's what I learned. If you go for 2 Icy Winds, you'll get to the Scald and the Icy Wind at the same time on the third time around. Had I known that, I would have definitely won that match, so a little bit unfortunate. In comes Lanturn lead, very negative lead, but in comes Dragonair, and behind an energy, Dragonair is not going to have a great time against this. X-Scissors absolutely chunk, and I'm thinking here, if possible, I would like to take alignment. I don't necessarily want my Poliwrath on the Lanturn, right? It's not a great matchup for it. We're going to look to go for one and fro. See what the opponent wants to do. I think alignment could be very important in this match. Let's have a look. The opponent is shielded up. They think so too. Can we get to a last second move? We do get to it. And if the opponent shields once, they're going to have to shield twice here to take alignment. They do actually shield it for the alignment. So we're up a shield with Poliwrath. Not the worst thing in the world. Now, what I was tempted to do was come in and go for a Bullet Seed down. We end up coming in for the counter down, because of course, our Poliwrath is not looking too good against Lanturn. I don't mind, of course, eating a move here. We're going to come straight in, and in comes Altaria. Is up a shield with this thing. Can we get the job done? How much does a Rock Slide do to bulky Altaria? It does a lot. It does more than 50%. So guys, what we're going to be able to do is go straight for another move. I believe that was a CMP tie, a charge attack priority event. It was a charge attack priority event. And back in comes Lanturn, down a shield. They know it's basically game over. Because even if they do manage to take a cradilly, Poliwrath is so thick, it can eat a Thunderbolt, get off a Scald, the counters do a ton of damage. The opponent was in a rough position. So good games well played, and once again, you know, the synergy of this team is just working so nicely. Each Pokemon's doing their job on this team. Even against Dragonair, you're getting off the X-Scissors, we get a shield advantage with Charjabug. We come in and get the farm down with Poly. Of course, the cradilly just swept super hard in that game. And we have another Dragonair lead. Once again, I do sort of like staying in these matches. What actually ended up happening to me in one of these matches is I give them switch advantage, went for the farm down, but they just had two really rough RPS Pokemon in the back for me. They end up letting that go, so the opponent actually took shield advantage in the situation. I'm expecting the Lanturn to come through, so we go for an instant safe swap into Charjabug. Charjabug has a pretty decent match against Lanturn. You get to the X-Scissors pretty quickly. It's 3 Volt switches for the first one and then 2 for the second one. By the way guys, something to keep in mind with Charjabug is Discharge and X-Scissor in a neutral situation do the exact same amount of damage. However, X-Scissor is cheaper. You get to the X-Scissor in 3 Volt switches and then 2 the second time around, whereas it's straight free for Discharge. Guys, there's even an argument to be made to go for Crunch instead of Discharge in this meta. However, I did find Discharge was quite handy sometimes, especially if you're facing like Altarias. And I actually could have went for the move there. I actually regret not going for the Rock Slide. That would have done a ton of damage here. And let me see, do I actually win this match? I think actually I might lose this. It's looking kind of bleak here. It is kind of looking rough. We definitely get the shield with this. So maybe we're still fine here. But I think, you know, just to be a little bit safer in this matchup, going for the Rock Slide would have been just much more comfortable. Because now at this point, guys, we can go for like a bit of an overfarm, but I think it just would have been way more comfortable to go for the Rock Slide first. That way you guarantee the shield. You come in with the Poly, get off the Icy Wind anyway. I think it would have been a little bit more comfortable. I've sort of caught myself out a few times trying to hold the energy on the other side, because it sort of allows the opponent to make a bit of a play and sort of deny your energy. If you get it straight off on a super effective move, it's looking very comfortable. I think especially because I didn't immediately swap, that's something you have to decide at times. It's like, you either need to insta-swap, or you need to stay in and for the move. If you get caught in between, it allows the opponent to get extra farm for no reason, and that puts your Pokemon in a bit of an awkward position. Oh, looky what we have here, another Dragonair lead. I don't think I've seen that yet. Oh, it's a brand new lead, guys. It's a brand new lead. As you can see, we're sort of playing this out the normal way here, how we started the video. We're coming in for the farm down with Charjum. I think both of these ways are perfectly fine. I just got RPS'd a few times in the back, so I decided, okay, maybe I actually just want to like RPS them, because Dragonair is a classic RPS the lead and take switch advantage and then realign your back Pokemon. That's basically what that Pokemon does most of the time. So if we can take switch against that, I potentially get off a Scald or an Icy Wind on whatever comes in, hard-hitting Scald or a debuff. That usually puts us in a great spot, so you can play it either way. I think Charjabug farm is super valuable, but if you guys are getting RPS, you know, just keep it in mind, it is an option. You can just farm it down and look to take alignment. Now, the opponent's getting off a last second move here. Kind of annoying, I'm just at the move here. I think I'm going to go for like a 1 and fro here. I just need something in the back that I can absolutely one-shot. Give me a Kentucky Fried Chicken, give me something, it's bloody Vigoroth. There's just nothing we can do that game. Pretty hard RPS in the back. And that's kind of what made me decide, okay, you know, maybe I should start taking alignment with Poly. In the next match, we have Hakamo-o, which is a lot more comfortable in Dragonair, to be honest. Is this Hakamo-o or Hakamo-o? Oh, this is Hakamo-o. Okay, so this is Hakamo-o. We're going to go straight for the Icy Wind, not messing about here. Get them debuffed to threaten the one-shot. Actually, don't think it does one-shot this thing. It's a little bit bulkier than Dragonair. For all intents and purposes, it pretty much one-shots, and yeah, we're basically going to go straight for this next move as well. We even get it off in good timing, and the opponent's looking to be in a bit of a shambles here. We are quite low, and it looks like the opponent's going down 0 to 2 shields. At this point, I'm like, yo, no problem. Enjoy yourself here, take switch advantage, RPS my backline. But I'm just thinking, dude, like up 2 shields, we should be chilling here, and they actually end up swapping out as well to a Lucky Tongue of all things, which is a wee bit awkward. It's a wee bit awkward. Lucky Tongue for this team, if you don't have your Poly alive, is a wee bit awkward. And even if you do have it alive, it's a wee bit awkward as well, because it can go for Power Whips. However, in this situation, we're up 2 shields. I think I'm more than happy to probably invest 1 here and look to go immediately for the move. We're going to look to get this off. If the Hakamo comes back in, we can look to deal with it. And, you know, I'm thinking, okay, we've seen a Hakamo lead, pretty weak to ice. We've seen a Lickitung in the back. Surely they have some sort of an answer for ice in the back. So I'm thinking maybe my Charjabug's good here. Maybe it's just like Poliwrath in the back. We're going to fire off the resisted X-Scissor straight away. And basically Charjabug could be just sweeping this entire match here. Let's have a look, see what it is. It's their own Charjabug. Now this is going to come down. Who wins CMP? I actually do. Super fortunate. The opponent must have like a rank 1 or something, because my Charjabug is not exactly attack weighted. It's a pretty decent one. I think it actually is slightly attack weighted because I didn't even get to play that combo. But as you're about to see here, they're going to get through one X-Scissor. We'll see how much damage this does. Would this have actually made the game very close? Yeah, it does more than 50%. So if I lost CMP there, there's a good chance I was losing this game. One of these rock slides does not KO, not even close. So definitely very lucky to win CMP, and that's a good game as well played. So yeah, Charjabug basically putting on the sweep for us there, and in comes yet another Dragonair lead. It's almost like you're seeing the same thing over and over again. So let's see how we decide to play it this time. I think this is where I start like hard fighting for alignment on every Dragonair lead. Once again, we get the free counter, and we're going to look to go for the Icy Wind. Guys, if you're using Dragonair, you have to throw in between the counter animation. You cannot try to go for CMP. If players are smart like me, they're going to just overfarm. I think the opponent throwing good timing that time, and we're going to basically shield and farm it the whole way down. Whatever comes in the back is going to get scalded or Icy Winded. It actually is a Lanturn. I should have swapped out in this situation because I've got 2 answers to Lanturn. However, we do get the Scald through, and we do get a little bit of damage, and we come, yeah, so look at the alignment here, guys. Our Cradilly was going to get stuck on that Medicham, so it's really good that we actually RPS the backline here. It means that we can actually get our Cradilly on the Lanturn, and we can get our Charjabug on the Medi. Now, Medi's up a shield, so they can make this very awkward. However, we're going to basically put them into range for a Power Whip. We have a little bit of energy in Cradilly, so we should be perfectly fine there. We should be able to outpace to a move. The opponent will still have to throw a move here. They cannot farm us down. I think they go for a slide over farm, and I actually might even still have to eat an Ice Punch here. Let's have a look. Ice Punch coming through. Do we get off the move in time? No, we actually do get it off just before they reach the Ice Punch. So that's basically curtains for the opponent. I think they do have some energy in Lanturn, but we've actually chipped it into our range where a Grass Knot should just about KO it. And as you can see here, 1 Surf, it's not going to be enough. I think 1 more Surf still wouldn't even KO, so we're in a very comfortable position here. Grass Knot coming through, doesn't KO, but actually the sparks are adding up a little bit, and had the opponent got to an extra Surf, I might have been panicking a little bit, but I was pretty confident we'd win that match, and we're going to hop on into the next one. Like I said, guys, this team is working very, very well. I do highly recommend it if you're trying to gain some ELO in the Retro Cup. We've got a very awkward lead with Cresselia here. We go straight into our Cradilly. Of course, our main answer to it would be the Charjabug. We're going to go ahead and go straight for Grass Knot on the Poliwrath. Now, the opponent here will not want to eat any full damage Grass Knots, and they're actually leaving me very close to the next one. So it's kind of tempting to shield here, but I realize, yeah, I probably should just let this go down and probably come into maybe my own Poly here. Yeah, like look to absorb the damage. Maybe even get some Volt Switches through with the Charjabug at the end. This is looking very, very awkward. Cresselia, bit of a core breaker in the lead, and Poliwrath in the back, not really enjoyable. Even Charjabug, like, doesn't have the greatest time in the world against it. I think we're going to look to eat 1 more move here, and then look to go for the aggro swap. Basically get ahead on energy. We're looking in a very tough position here. They aggro swap as well, and the opponent's coming in with an arc to backs. This is definitely very awkward. I'm over farming here, hoping they give me a free one. They actually throw in very nice timing. We're up to back-to-back X-Scissors, but these won't even come close to KOing, and we're going to need, I think, 3 to KO the Cresselia. So yeah, definitely not in a great position here. I think even if I go for a catch, this game is basically over. So yeah, good games well played to the opponent here pretty much. As you can see, they're just whittling me down to the point where they can even just like Grass Knot me. It's looking pretty over. I think I do stay in this match because I wasn't familiar with the Cresselia matchup, and I basically just wanted to see how much an X-Scissor would do to Cresselia. Just for scientific purposes, basically here. Cresselia comes in, we go for the X-Scissor, and as you're about to see, I think it does about 35% roughly. Doesn't actually do an awful lot to it. Yeah, probably about 40%. We certainly need 3. I go for the catch, not that it's going to help anything, and yeah, that's good games well played to the opponent. So hopping into the next one, we have a Lickitung lead, much more of a positive lead for me. For the opponent to get to this move, it takes 17, which is the equivalent of 8.5 counters. We go straight for the Icy Wind here to look to go for a debuff, and I think what I'm going to look to do is actually pause a turn here and catch. Usually if the opponents are throwing in good timing, whenever you're facing off against good opponents, they will do 1 and throw, they will not insta-throw. I know this player and I know that he's a good player, so I knew that he would go for 1 and throw. In comes Dragonite, so by the looks of things, there's not really a great answer in this team for Charjabug. They probably could have stayed in with the Licky, and I'm thinking, okay, so they will get a little bit of extra farm, but if I get both shields here, we can potentially look to come in and go for like an Icy Wind with Poliwrath. We're getting off this final discharge. This would definitely KO from this range. Dragonite super glassy, of course. and I think we start coming in with Poliwrath. The opponent has an absolute ton of energy. I'm expecting them to start unloading Dragon Claws. We do end up, I think, just about catching the Dragon Claw. I decide, okay, if you superpower me, like, well done, you win. And the good thing here is, even though these are resisted Bullet Seeds, if the opponent goes for superpower here, we should be able to Bullet Seed it the whole way down. And as you can see, yeah, these Bullet Seeds are adding up way more now. I decided I need to keep Poliwrath alive for Lickitung, so we should be in a much better spot here. We still have about half a Poliwrath. Back in comes a Poliwrath, they make a nice catch here as well, onto the Licky. However, it means I don't have to deal with it anymore, so I'm pretty sort of happy with that. We get off the Grass Knot here. That's basically game over here. The opponent's going to be super low, in a range where we can look to go for an Icy Wind. Yeah, that does about 75%. In comes Poly, pretty close to an Icy Wind. I decided, like I said, to preserve Poly, just in case I needed it for Licky. However, the opponent did go for a nice catch on the Licky, so I think coming in with Cradilly and getting that farm down, of course, as well as getting the early catch, really helped me win that game. Good games well played. We end up going 3-2 in that set. And yeah, I think we've had a 4-1 and a 3-2 so far, and I believe the next set we're going to showcase is a 4-1. Right here, guys, we're up to 23-38. We're up on the big boy ELO, so it feels good. We're playing against, like I said, a lot of great players. We have a Poliwrath versus Poliwrath lead. I actually lag a turn at the start of this match, so as you can see, the opponent actually outpaces me to the move, which is pretty damn annoying, not gonna lie. They go for the den, like, that's so annoying. How am I losing moves at the start of a match? It's so annoying. However, the opponent actually goes for CMP tie here, so I'm pretty happy with this at this point, because yes, they're gonna Icy Wind me, but we've burned about half the clock, and if we can get rid of this thing, the opponent's supposed to stay in and take the move, basically. And actually, they come in with a Hypno, so I'm thinking, right, if you're coming in here with Hypno, you 1,000,000% have something else in the back, like a Psychic. So I'm thinking, can Cradilly pull this off? Can we even get to another move? We don't. Super unfortunate. I decide, okay, we're going to throw in Poliwrath here. Probably go for a 1-and-throw. If you go for 1-and-throw, you do not take the damage from the confusion. This will not KO anyway. And yeah, we insta-swap. Basically looking to go for damage and a chip. And then, of course, coming in here, I decide last second to shield up. It's a bloody Focus Blast. Probably the best shield I've ever made. Now, for good timing, guys, in this matchup, 3 versus 4 turns, you want to throw on 1 and 5. I throw after 5, so fantastic timing here. And with these Bullet Seeds that are going through, I should be able to go for 1 Grass Knot, 1 Rock Slide. The opponent's going to go for probably a foul play here. They throw in very poor timing. You need to throw 2 confusions, but of course I would have got to the move. At the very least, you do try to throw 1. They go for Trailblaze, which boosts their attack back up. Congratulations, you've boosted your attack. However, Cradilly's going to farm it the whole way down here now, and actually come in and get a free counter. I wasn't 100% sure if the opponent was getting to another move, so that was probably a little bit unnecessary. We do end up having to eat a move here, guys. Is this an Ice Punch? It's Thunder Punch. Super lucky. So I think either way I was going to have to eat the move no matter what, even if I didn't make that misplay. So I'm just lucky that it was Thunder Punch. They're on Focus Blast, Thunder Punch, and we're hopping immediately into the next game. They come in with Oranguru. Now, whenever they come into Oranguru with this team, you debuff it first and then come in and just completely clean it up with Charjabug, or even Cradilly at that point if you want to. We come into Charja and basically look to go for a massive overfarm. The opponent's going to fire off a Trailblaze to reboost their attack. Whenever you're against a bug type with a psychic type, is it really necessary to boost your attack when you're only going to get off 1 move? Probably not. Does this one shot from here? It absolutely does. And we're even coming out with another X-Scissor for the Gradient. This thing is super spammy. I want to try to get off as many moves as I possibly can in this little thing, because even against Poliwrath in the zeros, this thing goes pretty ham. Like, this thing gets off a lot of moves. If you try to counter it down, it gets super, super awkward. So I'm really happy just to get this into a position where we can easily counter it down, not have to eat about 400 body slams. And yeah, as you're seeing here, I'm going to basically force them to throw as well. I was getting to the next move. Mud-shotting down is never that easy, and the opponent should be fairly dry at this point. They insta-swap, and in comes Cresselia. Now, as you can see, guys, we've got 2 shields, the opponent has 1, and the opponent is on Confusion. So basically that means it's going to take 5 Confusions to eat each Moonblast, and it's actually 5-4 for the Grass Knots. So if you go for a Grass Knot bait, it's a little bit cheaper, but it's really not that much cheaper, so like, I don't really have any incentive to try and call this move. I think I'm getting to free moves, no problem here. Yeah, we go for another Grass Knot. And I think later I realized going for free Rock Slides in this matchup was a little bit better. Once again, guys, we're getting this move off in good timing. We need to optimize as much as possible. Cresselia, like, it's confusioning us down here. It's kind of awkward. And we decide to go and catch the move in Poliwrath here. I decided that the opponent's going to get to a move on the other thing most likely, and they are getting pretty close to the move. I just want to preserve health on the Cradilly and hold on to the shield if possible. I think Cradilly can more than deal with little Gradient. Gradient's never far away from a move. As you can see, they're getting to a move here. They're never far away from a move. They definitely aren't at back-to-back though. They did throw the body slam just before. So this is good games well played. By going for that catch, I was just absolutely guaranteeing that, because they were going straight for Grass Knots, right? I was just guaranteeing that I was not going to get taken out. And in comes Dragonair lead. Guys, we've got a new lead. We have not seen this yet. We're going to shield up the first move, go for the Icy Wind debuff, and look to see what the opponent wants to do. They actually swap straight into Jelly. And I'm a little bit late on the swap here, a little bit slow on the swap. However, I've got an absolute ton of energy and Poly for later. But yeah, this makes it a little bit awkward now because they go straight for the ball. That means they can go straight for surfs. I go for 2 and fro for good timing. Unfortunately, we get to the surf in time. I completely misplayed this match. I should have swapped out much earlier. However, we have 100 energy on Charja. We have over a Skull banked on Poly. And the opponent actually lets that move go. In comes Crocodile. We're going to go for 1 and fro for good timing. This thing is going to incinerate us down. And this is very, very awkward. With no shields left and a full health, 50% health Crocodile. We're in a very awkward position. I think they're about 1 off the move. So I'm probably going to come in with Poly, go for 2 and fro. And we'll see if the opponent wants to insta-fro or go for 1 and fro. I think I decide that they're going to insta-fro, so we swap straight into Cradilly, trying to catch the Disarming Voice. Now we got our full Politoed through there. They go for the Shadow Ball, I guess anticipating the catch, or maybe they're on Crunch. They must be on Crunch Shadow Ball, because that was a bit of a weird play. In comes Dragonair, we go for this, the opponent lets it through. And basically if we can get off 1 more Rock Slide, we might be able to win this match. The opponent definitely needs to go for an overfarm here, so it's up to the opponent to either farm us down or get the energy required. Can we get to the move? We don't. The opponent has the move. Is it Disarming Voice or is it Shadow Ball? Once again, the opponent goes for Shadow Ball, and that does take us out from that range. So I really just misplayed the middle matchup. Had I played that a little bit better, I think I could have won that match. Now Froslass lead, a bit of an awkward lead you would think, but Poly does not give a shit about Froslass. As you can see, we're outpacing it with damage, and basically all I need to do is either Icy Wind debuff it or go for a Scald for heavy damage. The opponents are actually tending to no shield here quite a lot, because I'm sure they're getting baited quite often. Now that they've let that move through, I'm happy enough to shield up. We've got a full health Poly, we can still play this like an ABB team, we've got a ton of energy, and yeah, in comes an Oranguru or something, so we're going to YOLO off this move immediately, and most likely go for a safe switch, just in case they have something in the back that's a little bit weak. And here it is guys, it is Gradient. So basically guys, if you go down 2 shields in the lead, you don't necessarily want to let your front Pokemon go down immediately, because there's always a chance that they have something in the back, and basically the benefit of 2 shielding for the lead is that you're preserving health in your Pokemon. More often than not, double shielding your lead's a really bad idea. In this case I decided, okay, like we've got a ton of energy, Poliwrath is really strong in this cup, they have a Froslass in the lead, which is a ghost type, which technically is supposed to beat fighters, so they might have something in the back that's weak to Poly, and whenever they came into a confusion user, I'm like, I have no reason to stay in here, I'll come into Cradilly, it's a neutral safe swap, and yeah, back in comes this thing. Now what I've noticed with this matchup is, like I said, these do not add up that much. We can just basically go for Icy Wind, permanently debuff the opponent, and now we basically have a little bit of energy on the Cradilly. We have a full health Charjabug, and we've got a debuff to Oranguru. Now I'm thinking the opponent's going to YOLO the Trailblaze immediately. The opponent obliges and throws it straight onto the Charjabug, resisted Trailblaze. I think the opponent just instantly top left it after that one, probably expecting the Cradilly to come back in, and we get an Arctibax lead, but the game's like, no, you're not getting your Arctibax lead. We're getting absolutely scammed out here. That's a fantastic lead for Poliwrath. We queue back in here, and it ends up being, oh, what do you know, a Dragonair lead. I don't mind it. If it was like a confusion lead, I would have been so mad, because of course, going from a lead that's weak to counter, that would have been very disappointing. However, Dragonair, we've played this match a million times, we know how to play this out. I think more often than not, I win against Dragonair. They come into a bloody Toxapex. I think I should have went straight for the debuff here. I ended up going for the Scald for the damage, because this match, believe it or not, between Toxapex and this thing can get quite close. One discharge does not quite KO, and yeah, we're basically forcing them to shield first. Now since we got the debuff, we can easily live a Sludge Wave and a Brine, so basically we're going to commit to the farm down, look to get a just ton of energy here. We're down a shield, right? So if we can get the energy, that's perfect in this situation. Perhaps get off 2 X-Scissors on the Dragonair, try to force 1 shield off them. We're going to insta-throw this, not letting them get through the Dragon Breaths. Of course, it's tempting to go for 1 and fro and whatever else, but you just want to get your energy off in these situations. This is going to get them super low, and we just go for the snipe with Poly, basically allowing us to overfarm. And in comes Talonflame, immediate 2 and fro on the Icy Wind. The Kentucky Fried Chicken is getting put on ice here, and yeah, this is basically game over. We're putting them in the freezer with Poly, and I end up overfarming here, and I decide, yo, like, you're not going to be able to incinerate me down necessarily. 1, 2, Icy Wind coming through, and I realize at this point, I can probably get to another one here, which is, like I said, going to put this Kentucky Fried Chicken on ice. We're putting him in the freezer. Poliwrath, just an absolute tank. And that's basically it for the battles here today, folks. Yeah, so we're going to come in with Charjabug, basically. The opponent's debuffed. I could have went for X-Scissor here. That's perfectly fine, though. We'll basically show them Cradilly. They're boosting their attack back up, which is great, but I think they're still single debuffed. And any one move, even a Brave Bird, is not going to KO from this range. I could even go for a Grass Knot at this point. But like I said, guys, fantastic team, and big thank you to my friend Hugo for the team suggestion. He's been streaming this team on Twitch, so feel free to check it out if you want to get some more insights on the team. Having a look at the ELO here, we seem to be doing very, very well this season. After this, we're up to about 2380. Like I said, I tanked a little bit. However, I've done 2 sets today. I went 3-2 both times, so we're up to about 2350 overall. We're struggling to catch this little Froslass here. Yeah, we're up to 20 for 80 in the video. Really enjoyed this team, and I think the Retro Cup is a ton of fun. I highly recommend checking it out if you haven't already. Or of course, let me know in the comment section down below. Are you enjoying Ultra League a little bit more? But thanks everybody, have a fantastic rest of your day. Drop a like on the channel, subscribe to the channel, drop a like on the video, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow for a brand new one.